Hello everyone, my name is Brendan McCauley with Humanum Project, and we are excited that we're going to be doing some new video series on our YouTube channel. It's just question and answer. It's very simple. We've been getting a lot of questions on identity, sexuality, and relationships, and we kind of were just thinking, hey, it'd be kind of cool if we did like a 3-minute video almost every day just answering people's questions. So we're going to try it out. So if you ever have a question, leave it in the comments. Submit it on our website and we might get around to it on our channel. So the question for today is, how do you practice the virtue of chastity? Like practically. Well, what is the virtue of chastity? Well, let me tell you a quick story. One day, one of my friends was hanging out with some sorority girls in college, and my friend just said, hey, I practice the virtue of chastity. And they just kind of started laughing like, that must not be fun. That must be boring. That must suck. And he's like, no, it's freeing. It actually just means I respect women. And they were just frozen. They were caught off guard. They didn't know what to say. What is chastity? It's a virtue that orders and integrates our sexual appetites, our drives, our sexuality as a whole. It orders and integrates it to the truth of the human person. And this ordering is the only way that we can be free in our sexuality. What's the meaning of our sexuality and the power that we feel in our body? John Paul II says it's the power to express love to where the person becomes a gift. So that's the whole purpose of our sexuality. And ultimately that is completed through the marriage bond, that this power in our sexual drive is made for union with another person, and procreation has the power to create new life. So chastity is not this, no, I'm not going to think about that. It's really ordering, redeeming our sexuality to love rightly. That's chastity put simply. It's loving in and through our bodies. And unchastity is anti-love. What's unchastity? It might be a thought. It might be a fantasy. It might be the way you look at someone. It might be a certain action you perform with someone that is not upholding the dignity of the human body as something that expresses the person, where the body's personal. It looks at the body, it treats the body, it thinks about the body as something for my own selfishness. It looks at the body as only parts. It depersonalizes, it disintegrates the person, and it doesn't allow for true love and freedom. Chastity, my mentor Christopher West says brilliantly in his new book, Eating the Sunrise. Check it out. He says, chastity is not a closing of our eyes to earthly beauty, the human body. It's a widening of our eyes so that earthly beauty leads to heavenly beauty. So how do we go from unchastity to chastity? How do we go from looking at the body as just parts that please my lust and selfishness to seeing the body as somebody that reveals an image of God? How do we go from looking to seeing? Well, again, we could spend hours on this video, but practically I'm just going to share 2 quick things. The Catechism, as well as John Paul II says, chastity is a gift of the Holy Spirit. So we can't just achieve it on our own, like self-reliantly, willfully, white-knuckling, I'm going to do it. We have to open to the Holy Spirit. We have to pray. That might mean you get down on your knees every morning. Lord, grant me the gift of chastity today. It might mean you're driving on the side of the road and a fantasy pops in your mind where I'm about to think about this person in a way that reduces them to parts for my own selfishness. That's unchastity, that's lust. Instead of just reacting, I'm not going to think about that. I'm not going to do that. It's opening it and observing it with God. Lord, what am I really looking for here? Am I trying to escape from something that I feel pain in my heart? Am I believing a lie that I'm just not desirable and I'm all alone? It's going to look differently for everyone. And some people might be brutally addicted to lust in using people, whereas they can't really control it as much. Whereas other people, it might be more easier because they're not quote unquote addicted. But we want to have awareness of where it might be coming from. And this could take, well, the church actually says living chastely is a lifetime of great effort. So be patient with yourself. If you fall, get back up and ask God for mercy and forgiveness. So it's a gift of the Holy Spirit, the virtue of chastity, but it is a virtue. So St. Augustine says, pray as if everything depended on God, but work as if everything depended on you. So we got to play a role in chastity. And I would say an easy practical tip, what are the things in your life that are making you unchaste, that are making you tempted? So that might be your phone. That might be TV shows, movies, podcasts you listen to, friends you hang out with, and how you talk about other people and sexuality. So examine your life. What are the things in your life that are not helping you to see and uphold the body as honorable, beautiful, that participates in God's image and likeness? So maybe go and journal it out and get rid of it. Clean house. Honestly, this is so helpful in order to practice the virtue of chastity. So after you've kind of cleaned house in your life, what are the things that are making you unchaste? Get rid of. Well, how can you consume things that will make you see sexuality in the body differently? Listen to podcasts, TV shows, talk to certain friends that are not going to degrade the human body, but are going to uphold it for the truth of what it is. So I know there's so much more advice on practicing this virtue of chastity, but I wanted to try to keep it simple, and I hope it was helpful. If you've enjoyed the video, I want to invite you just to be a part of this mission with us by sharing it and subscribing. Our mission is all about forming youth and young adults on the truth of what it means to be human and how to live it. So we want to invite you to be a part of this mission by sharing and subscribing to our channel. We hope to see you next time. God bless.